tell me what it was like. What were they? Because that was the first time with an audience in a long time for you, right?
Yes, it was the first time.
How did that feel?
Time. That was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And like I always say, I take the crowd for granted. I take the fans for granted all the time. And that right there, it reminded me of like my debut in the UFC again.
Okay.
It's such a big difference, man. It's such a big difference. It's something about having a crowd there, right? When the crowd is there and there's compared to no crowd, it's kind of like no crowds feel like sparring. With the crowd, that white noise, right. It kind of like, it makes the moment bigger than what it actually is.
Okay.
So like when you get hit, it's more adrenaline, I think. And like if you get hit with something, you don't feel it as much, but the crowd will let you know that
if it was hard.
The crowd will let you know. The crowd will be like, right. And they're like, oh, and you're like, in your mind, you're like, nah, fuck that, bro. I got to get that back. Man.
I've always wondered about that because I always thought like, one thing is you feeling it and saying, all right, I'm not going to let that happen again. But another thing is people saying like, oh shit, like he just got blasted. Yeah. Like, does that play into your mind in a negative way sometimes? Or just pump you up?
I'm solid as a rock, brother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My mental is solid as a rock. It's more, so it doesn't really bother me mentally, but more so like it'll let me know though. Like if I get hit, and in my mind, I'm like, that wasn't even hard. What are y'all talking about?
Right. Do you ever want to just like be like, what? I'm
like, what are y'all talking about? But it's kind of like, It does play to the fight. It definitely does play to the fight and gives you like it just puts an extra battery in your back is how I refer to it.
Okay. I like that. I like that analogy. So before fighting, were you ever in an environment like that, like performing wise or other sports where you kind of fed off the thing, or is that like
nah, like
it was new to you and you felt comfortable with it right away?
Yeah. Yeah, but the closest to that I've got is, well, I grew up in boxing, right? So the boxing environment is a little different than, the martial art environment, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'd be boxing and I visited other gyms, I'd visited
when you did the wars,
you know what I'm saying? Exactly. And I'm the MMA guy coming, right? But I grew up in the boxing gym. I had a whole boxing background, but I usually don't speak on that unless you know me from the boxing scene.
Right.
And I'd pull up to the gym and, my guys, like I used to go to Cops and Kids a lot, and eventually the more you go, then the more respect you get, and then you just build a relationship and people know you, right? But the first couple of times I would go there, it's like I'd go with my coach, just me and him, maybe one other guy or whatever, and you're sparring one of their guys, and at first no one's there, he's a good guy, no one's there, so they just kind of like everyone's doing their own thing. Next thing you know,
everybody's turning around.
Everyone starts circling.
Anybody who was on the bag immediately stopped hitting the bag and started turning around.
Exactly. Next thing you know, this guy's coming. Next thing you know, his coach is coaching him. Next thing you know, his teammates is coaching him. Next thing you know, there's people hanging over the ropes. It's like you're like 4 or 5 rounds in, and then people are yelling and it's getting heated. Yeah. It's getting heated, and people are like, oh, you gonna let him? Like it's just getting it's getting real crazy, And that's the closest I've ever came to anything like that. It's just that hostile environment of like,
right.
It becomes like a fight. It's like a street fight. So going into the no crowd at the Apex, I thought that I'd thrive in that. I was like, all right, because I'm gonna hear your coaches, you're gonna hear my coaches. It legit felt like sparring.
Really?
Yeah. But I love the big crowds. The big crowds in the audience. I don't want to go back. I miss them.
That's awesome, man. Well, I think we should be all right for a while. Yeah, I think we should stick with the big crowds. So take me back to when you were growing up. So you were born in Massachusetts, but then you went back to Jamaica, right? Yeah. What was that like? What was your family dynamic like and all this stuff?
It's funny when we talk about Massachusetts, right? I don't know anything about Massachusetts.
Really?
Yeah. So my mom we lived in Brooklyn, right? My mom lived in Brooklyn, and my mom and dad lived in Brooklyn, and then my dad, he had some stuff going on, some business stuff, and he had a spot in Massachusetts, and my mom he was in Massachusetts. My mom was going to Massachusetts to go see him, right? And when she got there, I decided I wanted to be born. All right. So I know nothing about
that's as far as your relations to Massachusetts gets.
That's it. You know. So, but then something happened. My mom got deported, and at 2 years old, I got sent to Jamaica.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I was in
voluntary, kind of your family chose to do that, or did you have to go back? How does that work?
Well, they sent me. I'm a baby. You know what I mean?
Right.
My mom got sent down, but she got sent back.
That's what I'm saying. So, they didn't keep you with your dad. Like you had to go with your mom.
Nah. So I went with my mom. You know what I mean? So I was raised in Jamaica from about 2 to 16. I came back here when I was 16. So I spent more time in my life
Your youth,
in Jamaica
yeah.
than I have in America so far.
So I've never been to Jamaica. I've always loved it, just from what you know about it, right? My parents went on vacation several times. They loved it. What's it like? I'm from Puerto Rico, so I don't know what is close, but
Same thing.
same, basically same shit.
Same shit. Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Moving on. No, because listen, we like it's family stuff. We like partying. We like reggae. We like Puerto Rico. We like beaches. We
dance, beach, weed, women.
Yeah, you pretty much nailed it. All right, so Puerto Rico and Jamaica pretty much. Do I not have to go? No, I still want to go check it out. So did you get into boxing in Jamaica?
Yes.
Is boxing big in Jamaica?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is. I mean, it's as far as resources, it's not as big. I think America is the biggest when it comes to boxing.
Yeah.
But we have a few boxers, that came out of there, did some things. Yeah, so it was cool. But it wasn't.
What got you into it?
Once my mom actually put me in boxing, because I was a little badass little kid. It's funny, she wanted to teach me a lesson because it's like I used to always get in trouble for the fights, and then she was like, "Oh, so you want to fight people, right? So fight." She brought me to the gym. She's like, "Fight them, go ahead, fight."
Really?
Yeah. She's like, "You want to fight, right?"
Anybody in your family like box or anything?
No, just me.
She just said, "All right, you're fighting, so you're gonna fight. You're gonna learn how to fight first of all."
I mean, I got my ass whooped.
Because you fought somebody who actually knew how to fight,
right? And then I ended up liking it, and that's what it was after that.
That's funny. That's always interesting. I got into boxing because of my, not boxing, but I got into liking the sport and being involved because my mom's dad was a trainer and a boxer, so it was always the women in the family. So that's always like an interesting dynamic when they're like supportive of the sport, So then you start boxing in Jamaica. Were you amateur in Jamaica at all? Like, or did all that happen once you moved back?
Once I came back here.
Okay.
Once I came back here, then I started like, all right. Then I started like competing, like in the novice gloves, those kind of things, and then did pretty well. And next thing you know, I'm just all up and down in the gym, just putting in work, sparring with this guy, sparring with that guy. Next thing you know, I'm going to TCI in the city.
Okay.
It's like a technical school.
Okay.
And I'm looking for.
That's like high school?
No, TCI was
college.
TCI it's like a trade school.
Gotcha.
So I wanted to learn electrical engineering and shit, right? And I'm there, and I'm looking for other like gyms nearby that I could visit or whatever, train. And I keep seeing like MMA or I keep seeing jiu-jitsu, and I don't really know what that is. So Renzo Gracie was like right around the corner. That's how I met Daniel.
Right, because he was up there teaching.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
Daniel was my first jiu-jitsu teacher.
Oh, sure.
Right? He actually gave me 3 stripes on my white belt.
All right.
So I walked in there and I was like, "Yo, what the fuck is jiu-jitsu?" But I was like, I'll walk in there. I see MMA. I see them walking around in their gis and all that. Like,
what did you feel about that?
I'm like, yo, they karate. I'm like, in my mind, the mentality I had, I was like, oh, this is karate. I'm like,
right. When are we breaking boards?
Yeah, I'm like, I'm athletic. I'm skinny. I was skinny as hell, right? But I'm athletic. I'm like, I'm about to just run through these dudes, all right? I'm getting yoked up and turned and twisted up, and I was like, oh shit. It's like, imagine like I run into this in the street.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I could box, but I run into this in the street. That's a problem.
Right.
That's a serious problem. So I started learning it. You know what I mean? I was a broke college kid at the time. I had no money. And when you get back the student loan, your refund or whatever, I dumped the whole thing in there just to be able to train. I was like, how long can this get me to train?
Did you abandon boxing during that period of time? You were still boxing?
I still wanted to box. I wanted to box, but I was like, all right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this for a little bit, but I'm gonna box. And in my mind, I kept wanting to box, but then next thing you know, I did an amateur MMA fight, and the rest is history.
Yeah. How did it feel to put both together? Did you feel like, all right, this is like an extra superpower now? You know what I mean? Like, because in boxing, you have a limited set of skills you can use in the ring, but then you move into this world and they're like, oh shit, now I can implement my solid boxing, which a lot of these MMA guys don't necessarily have. Wow. And then I can add all this stuff that I've been learning.
As an amateur, I was just super confident, man. I always, in my mind, I was like, yo, I felt like there's no one that can hang with me. Because I was a decent boxer. I was an amateur, but I was decent, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be really good at this. I was long, lanky. I had a good frame for jiu-jitsu. Yeah. But the problem was there's more to it than just boxing and jiu-jitsu, right? I have to put it together with the wrestling, the cage wrestling, all that kind of stuff, and the range and the kicking, kickboxing came into, and my coach that I met, Sensei Nardu, I met him and he he asked me if I wanted to fight, and I was like, yeah, I wanted to fight, right? Of course. And he got me an amateur fight. I met him a week. The week I met him, he invited me to come down to his school. His school was actually in Valley Stream, and I was living in Rosedale at the time in Queens, and it was nearby. So he was like, yeah, come down. And he tells everybody to come down. He didn't think that I was gonna come. So it was raining that day, and I remember I jogged there in the rain. All right, it's fucking crazy.
It's an aggressive way to get there.
Yeah, I jogged in the rain. Well, I was fucking crazy, right?
Yeah.
So I jogged there in the rain. He's like, "Oh, you actually showed up," and I was like, "Yeah, I did train." All right, so I trained, and he had like blue belts on. At the time, I think I was a blue belt. He had like his blue belts, his purple belts, and all of them were on the mat. But his brown and black belts weren't. Like no one was there that day. So I went there and I was just tapping out all the white belts, tapping out all the blue belts.
A false sense of confidence,
crazy,
right?
And I was like, all right. So because I told him I wanted to fight, and his whole thing was, everybody wants to fight, but nobody wants to fight. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in other words, everyone wants to talk or act like they want to fight, but no one wants to. Even if they do want to fight, they're not willing to put in the work. Right.
To do it the right way.
So, he got on the mat with me. All right, and when he got on the mat, I was feeling myself tapping everybody out, triangles left and right. And then he just annihilated me, man. He just toyed with me, you know. And I was like, "Oh shit, this dude is legit. This dude is legit."
Kind of like when you're boxing and the person's on the corner and like they're just, no matter what you throw, they're just slipping out of everything. So it gives you that quick like, oh, okay, there's levels.
There's levels. There's levels to this shit for real. Okay. And ever since he was like, "All right, well, that week I met him, he got me a fight 2 weeks later to see if I really wanted to do this." And mind you, I just got jiu-jitsu and some boxing, man. I don't know how to put it together. I barely even sparred anyone at the time yet, just put me in there. And I tell you, I got my ass handed to me for the first 2 rounds by this wrestler, this kid named Travis Funk.
Okay.
He was just handing it to me. It was in Philly too.
Really?
In Philly, it was a promotion called Locked in the Cage.
Okay.
And
very original.
Yeah. And the dude.
By the way, Cageside's not any more original. By the way, that just FYI, that was a name that I had to come up with within like a couple of hours of doing something. And I'm like, well, let's just go with Cageside for now. And it fucking stuck.
It just stuck.
That's not. And I kind of hate it every time I do something because it's like I'm so limited and it's so aggressive. And anyway, sorry. So you fought and Locked in the Cage.
I fought and Locked in the Cage.
And you got to hand it to you a little bit.
Yeah, and the thing is, it wasn't like he was putting hands on me or anything. He just wouldn't fight me, man. In my mind at the time, he wouldn't fight me, right?
He wouldn't strike with you.
Yeah, he just kept picking me up. And that dude could have threw me out the cage if he wanted to, man. He was throwing me around. It was bad. And at one point, it even came across my mind. I'm like, you know what? Because there's no head kicks allowed. And I was like, I'm going to just kick him in the head and get DQ'd. I'm just kick, that in my mind at the time. I was really young, immature, and so I'm like, I'm gonna just kick him in the head.
Just show him what's up.
I tried. He ducked it and caught,
and then caught
me like under my crotch
and lifted you up.
Lifted, dumped me on my ass, man. It was so bad. It was so bad. And then eventually, though, 10 seconds left in the final round, got him in a 10-finger ninja choke, right, and put him to sleep unconscious.
Really?
And then.
So you didn't get disqualified for even attempting?
No, because it missed. And then, that was it. And then ever since he was like, my coach was like, all right, well, I see you serious. I see you really want to do it. I showed up to the gym, the week later again. And I was like that Monday I was back in the gym working. And he was like, all right, we got a lot to work on. So I took a whole year off. I didn't fight for that whole year. And I really honed in, picked up kickboxing.
Yeah.
And, started to learn how to wrestle, travel into different places. And
did you finish your education with the whole engineering thing? No. Do you regret that a bit? Because you're like tech savvy and all this stuff. So like, are you still into that stuff or not really?
The electrical engineering, not so much, but it's more so. My brother is like a computer guy, and I feel like I've learned enough as far as when it comes to tech.
Yeah.
For what I need to do, at least, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't like code or anything like that, but
yeah.
But
you get it. You enjoy it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. And I think, it worked out. My mom was mad, but,
right.
It is what it is.
She's like, what did I do putting him in that gym? So how long ago was that when you were kind of in that situation where you took the year off? Like how?
That was probably like 2011.
2011. So 10 years ago.
Yeah. Then I came back at 2012.
So 10 years seems like a long time, but at the same time, you've done a ton in 10 years.
Yeah.
In the sport. And you've been in the UFC for how
long? Since 2016, I made my debut.
Oh, wow. So
January
it's been a bit.
2016.
And you fought
a lot.
Some of the biggest fucking names.
Yeah, that first year. I mean, it's funny, right? It's crazy. Like my My journey in MMA is pretty interesting because I won the title in Ring of Combat on the pro scene at 2-0. And at that point, then it's just killers are coming after you at that point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At 6-0, I got signed to the UFC. Right? At 6-0, I had my sixth fight on the Looking for a Fight.
Looking for a fight, right? I saw that.
Right?
Yeah.
And then they signed me after that. And then I was still green as shit. I didn't really, I didn't know, compared to back, you look back.
You took the fast track,
yeah,
for sure.
I was pretty fast tracked. And then next thing you know, I'm in the UFC fighting the best in the world. So I fought a lot of killers. And it's like, I did a lot of learning on the job. And I mean, if you look back at the fights, it's kind of like you see the
progression.
The progression. If you look back from my beginning fight up until where I am now, it's a lot of learning on the job, a lot of stumbles, a lot of mistakes. A lot of times, I've fallen. But you know what? I've always picked myself back up and learned from those mistakes. I know it sounds like a cliche, but it's a fact. I've picked myself up and
I feel like in MMA, the falls are just part of the game. Mm-hmm. It's more about how you come back from that fall.
Yeah, that's a fact.
If you get into this bullshit world of like talking and then not being active and then maybe you come back and then have a somewhat weak, then it's a different story. But when you're learning on the job, like you're saying, and you're coming back and getting that win, but also you're fighting, I mean,
best of the best.
Like, one of you is going to have to lose. So at the end of the day, it's not really, that big of a deal. So we'll skip through all the other fights, but your last fight against Cowboy Oliveira, right? Mm-hmm. Was that wasn't a replacement fight, right? That was
no,
that was scheduled from the beginning?
We were scheduled to fight maybe a few months ago.
And then it got moved.
It got, I tested positive for COVID.
Okay.
And then, they rebooked it. They rebooked us. I guess they liked the matchup.
Yeah.
And they rebooked us for a later date.
What did you think of the matchup when you got it at first? What was your?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. I'm a fan of a Cowboy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I was like, oh shit, I'm fighting Cowboy. And I was hyped, and I was hyped. I was a little nervous. This is the only fight I would say I can admit that I was nervous because I'm one of those guys. I don't really get nervous. It's weird. I'm just like, oh, it's a fight. I do it every day. I'm just gonna do it in front of people now. All right, that was always my mindset. But for some reason, this fight, man, I was so nervous.
Why? Why do you think?
I don't know.
Because of the
maybe crowds are being back, and I don't know what it was, and maybe because it's Cowboy.
I was saying that, was he to you the biggest kind of mirage, the biggest image of a fighter that you've known, that you've liked, that you were going to
absolutely, okay. And maybe that's what it was. I've never every fighter that I've fought, I've never watched them in the UFC. Like, oh, when I just got into the UFC or before, every fighter that I've fought has just been, oh, this is another guy.
Yeah,
they're good, but like when I fought Vicente, I was like, yeah, he's good, but
right, but he wasn't where he's at now.
It wasn't like when I seen him when I was back in the day. You know what I mean? It was like we're on this journey together. I'm here, you're here, same shit.
You guys are equals.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But with him, it was like I used to see him, and I'm like, oh shit,
yeah, there's the fucking hat.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, it's cool, right? So maybe that's what it was.
How does it feel to be? Well, I guess when you first see each other, I guess at face-offs or whatever it might be. And then in the cage, is it like a surreal kind of weird feeling? Like I'm about to punch this guy in the face, even though, no, that's not.
It's funny. I'm nervous. Like I said, I don't usually get nervous, but I did get nervous for that. But once the moment is here to do the job, doesn't matter. It's like my training takes over and it's time to work. So that just compartmentalizing is huge when it comes to MMA and combat in general. And I think I do a pretty good job at that.
That's awesome. Yep. No, I agree. Without that, you can't let that stuff sneak in at the wrong times. Otherwise, you're screwed. So great performance. You thought you were going to have the bonus, probably, right? Little did we know that whole fucking night would be just one thing after another.
I feel like that just happens to me all the time.
Extreme.
I feel like that just happens to me all the time.
It depends on the fight cards that you're fighting, too. Like, you kind of have to go into it being like, all right, well, this card's kind of stacked. The possibilities of... of standing out, it's gonna happen, but to what?
Even the fight week I was there, and I was like to one of the interviewers that asked, or the reporters asked me a question. I forgot the question, but I remember I was like, I used to not want to be on these big cards. I used to hate being on the big cards because the chances of it's all about, as much as people want to talk about,
it's about money,
the fame, and like, oh, I fight for this bigger cause, this big reason of like, bullshit. You fight for money and you want the bread, right? So you can change you and your family's life, right? So I wanted to fight on the smaller cards because I was like, all right, the chances of me standing out are a lot better on the smaller cards, right?
Right.
And then I was talking to my friend, and he was just kind of like, bro, you can stand out on any card. Like, why do you limit yourself? And I was like, you're right. I was like, you're right.
It's a fair point.
And that kind of changed my mindset a little bit, having a conversation with him. And I was like, yo, if I could stand out amongst giants, then I'm really doing something. I feel like kind of downplaying myself when I do that.
Exactly. You're cutting yourself short because you're trying to highlight yourself, and when you already know the level of competition isn't even up there.
You know what I'm saying?
But now you're going into the most stacked card and then you're still standing out.
Exactly.
That's a big deal.
So that was my mindset. And I remember someone put out an article, and it said, the headline was Randy Brown looking to stand out amongst giants on UFC 261.
Beautiful.
And
you were like, fucking coined it.
I said it.
They ran with it.
I went out and I did what I did and had a great performance. And I think I did that. But then the card turned out to be, the best card of the year.
Yeah, so nobody expected that.
It is what
we expected like 2 good fights, maybe. You know what I mean? But that was an insane night. You cracked him with a right hand that hurt me. Like that thing that put him down. That came from I don't know where. But then your choke was a 1-arm guillotine. Was that the whole thing?
Oh, 1-arm rear naked choke.
See, I'm still learning all these things. Like I know more boxing than I do jiu-jitsu stuff, and like that's why she's here because she knows more than that. Look at this right here. So at this moment, you had no idea whether he'd go out from it?
No, I didn't see. I couldn't see his face. I just squeezed. I mean, sometimes guys tap from it in the gym, but not all the time. It's a hit or miss, man. It depends on the guy. But I was squeezing pretty hard.
Fucking tight squeeze.
Yeah. So once I get behind the shoulder, see how my hand is behind the shoulder? That's what's giving me the leverage. My hand is...
The hand, because you're kind of cupping the shoulder, so you're locked in there.
Yeah.
It's hard to pull that out. Mm-hmm. He didn't go out fully, right? He just tapped.
Yeah, he just tapped. He didn't go out at all.
Is that how you expected the fight going, or did you think you were going to be more strike heavy?
Strike heavy. I went in looking for a TKO.
Yeah?
Yeah, I thought I was going to TKO him.
Did you think that you were going to be able to ground and pound or something when you dropped him at that moment?
Yeah. You always want the style points. You always want to get the drop and try to do like the walk away. So there's a moment where you see after I hit him, I drop my hands. And then I'm like, all right, he's not out. Because he landed on his elbows. I was like, all right, fuck. That's when he just continued with the ground and pound. But my coach would have been mad as hell if I walked away.
Yeah, right. It's a great look if it works. And if it doesn't.
It's a great look.
Turn around. He's still... That's hilarious. Well, congratulations, man. That was a great finish. And I think that's... that just sets you up for your next big fight. Is there somebody that you want? I mean, I know you mentioned Nick Diaz, but that's a whole separate story.
I'm not getting that fight. I don't think I'm getting.
I don't think anybody's gonna get that fight. Yeah. I don't think Nick Diaz is gonna.
You don't think he's gonna fight?
Nah, he's just mean mugging everybody. That's just part of it. I mean, he looks good. He looks like he's been training and tanning. But aside from that,
I don't want to see him fight, man. I was a huge fan of Nick Diaz. I don't know, up until whatever. And as we know, the world now knows I'm a sensitive guy. Yeah. So I was a huge fan, man, and that was just weird to me.
You think he's a little punch drunk?
Yeah. Not a little, a lot.
Yeah, it's hard to tell with them too because they both kind of have that slurry speech, and it's like you don't know if it's a natural thing or if it's part of the fighting world. Nate Diaz pulled out, I guess, of his fight coming up. Yeah. Do you know why? Injured or something? It's a weird thing. He's never pulled out of fights, right?
Yeah, I guess he wanted more time to prepare. Maybe felt like he wasn't, where he wanted to be physically.
Yeah.
And he's like, let's need some more time.
I feel like you're trash talking him a little bit.
Yeah, trying to throw him off a little bit. Trying to throw off.
So who do you want to fight? Who's the next person in line for you that you want?
I mean, there's no names right now, man. Right now, I'm just enjoying the moment. I'm chilling. I'm down for whoever. I would preferably like to fight someone right outside top 15. There's a few guys on my mind, and maybe.
But you can have a quick turn because
for sure.
You didn't take anything on that.
I could. I tried to get on. My name was in the hat for the Cowboy thing.
Oh, for the last minute replay.
Yeah, my name was definitely in the hat for that.
That would have been headlines from one Cowboy to the next.
Another. I thought it made sense.
But the problem is that you wouldn't be on the show if you beat that Cowboy because I love that Cowboy. I'm a fan of that Cowboy. That poor guy can't lose this weekend. Come on.
Yeah.
That would have been good. Why didn't they take that?
It wasn't up to. I mean, I'm sure the offer was a few names on the table, and it was up to him at that point.
Yeah.
And
who did he pick? Moro?
Alex Morono.
Who is? Is it bad that I don't know who this guy is? Is he good?
No, he's pretty decent. He's cool. Yeah. He's good, but it's a. If I was down with Cerrone and I'm looking at the names on the table,
that you can.
just see my last performance. I'm a big welterweight. You know, he doesn't know me. I'm probably like an unknown to him, and it's like, oh, this guy. It's not the smartest move. So it's so understandable.
Right.
I understand.
He can't have another loss
No.
or another decision, I guess, or not decision. What was his last fight? It was a tie, right? Like a
draw. Nico
draw.
Price. Yeah.
Yeah, Nico Price. You fought Nico Price.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened with the Sanchez situation. I mean, he's a little crazy, but I guess he was supposed to fight, but then he got taken off, and then he got cut from the UFC. All within a week.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. This whole situation was wild. I mean, you heard the thing he came out with this morning or yesterday,
saying that they're after him, or that they're going to be after him. That whole thing.
Be after him. They're going to try to kill him. It's LexCorp. UFC is like LexCorp, you know.
Bro, what is? I mean, the guys has made headlines for a long time with some of these crazy things, but that might be the craziest.
Yeah.
You work with the UFC. You think they're out trying to get anybody?
Contrary to popular belief, the UFC is a great company.
Yeah,
besides everything else and the unionization and all this crazy stuff and all that, and fighters wanted to be paid more. I agree with all of that stuff. Yeah. But in the end, the UFC has been really good.
But that's like every other business, right? Yeah, employees want to be paid more. Yeah. Employees want more fair treatment.
It's the business. And I think that eventually, maybe not my generation. My generation is now fighters are starting to make decent money. Yeah. But I think the next generation of fighters, they'll all be rich. Yeah, I think once you hit a certain point, but it goes hand in hand with popularity of the sport. Yeah, and
it's growing,
and
performances, and you guys are developing at such a high everything is just going up and up and up. So eventually,
But the UFC, they've been fair with me. I can tell you that they've been fair with me. They've done everything that I've asked, and I personally think they're a great company.
That's awesome. So no tinted cars in front of your house,
scaring
you at night. Listen, I don't know what his deal is. I won't say anything else about it. But so funny enough, I started doing like an episode on Mondays to try to recap, and we did it this week. And when it was time to look at the fights for this weekend, we couldn't find anything. Like I don't know what the UFC did, but they like wiped everything, and we're like, who the hell is fighting? But then it came out. It's a pretty decent card.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I mean, there's some pretty solid.
Michelle Waterson versus Marina Rodriguez for the headliner.
Yep. Cerrone, Neil Magny. What do you think about Magny versus Neil?
It's a good one.
That should be good.
That should be a real good fight. I'm going Neil Magny.
Yeah. Let's do some actual picks in a second. Who else do we got on this card? I need glasses.
Maurice Green.
Ribas and Hill. That's pretty low on the card. That should be a good fight.
That's pretty good.
I like them both.
Hill's been on a tear, man.
I like Hill a lot.
Yeah, she's been on a tear.
Her last loss was Waterson, though, right?
I think so. I think she's hilarious, man.
Hill?
Yeah, she's funny.
You
see her on Instagram?
Oh, when she does the Cleo type stuff?
Yeah.
When she does the pics?
She's funny, man. She's just a funny person. I enjoy her.
She's very likable.
Yeah.
She's definitely very likable. But Ribas is Mexican, right? No. Ribas she's Brazilian. She's the one with a very funny laugh. I always remember that because she one time I'm like, why is she getting so loud? She was like started just getting really high pitched and laughing and stuff like that. I'm like, anyway, that's how I remember her. But she's a badass. She's definitely good.
Yeah.
So do you want to get into fights now and we'll make some picks?
Yeah.
All right, you want to make some picks?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's see. Let's test the knowledge. Let's start with Hill and Ribas. What do you get? Who do you got and why?
I got Hill. Experience.
Okay.
And just as of late, she's just been looking good as of late. She's coming together into her own. I think she's entering her prime now, and maybe not age-wise, but fight age-wise. And I see her putting it together. She's looking great. See her separating herself from the pack in her last fight. So I'm gonna run with her. Ribas is very dangerous, but I think Hill.
So my initial thought would be Ribas because I feel like a lot of times that I don't know if she's going to pull it off, she dominates. Like, she puts on a great performance. But I like Hill, and I usually just go with people I like. And Hill had been, like you said, had been going up and up as far as, like, her performance level. And Waterson was Waterson was out to kill in that fight because of her previous losses. So I think it was, like, a tough one for Hill. And I thought Hill looked good anyway. So I'm going to go with you on this one. I'm going to go Hill. Knockout or decision?
Ooh, those are tough. I'm really objective when it comes to the knockouts and calling specific rounds and that kind of stuff. Because
we don't have to pick rounds, but
that's just,
is it a finish or not a finish? Either way, like whoever gets it, is it a finish?
Not a finish.
Not a finish.
I mean, the women don't usually get the finishes as much as.
Tell that to Thug Rose.
Yeah, Thug Rose. Yeah,
Yo,
Rose.
Listen,
that's true.
I'm a fan of Rose. I'm scared of shit of Weili, and I'm like, nobody beats Weili ever. The last thing I expected was, but it's like she proves that she's Thug Rose.
I was a fan. I had Thug Rose winning.
Did you?
I picked her for that, and I'm just a fan of her. I personally think if you watch my show, on my show I talk about it, all the time. We big up Thug Rose. We're like Thug Rose stands on our podcast, and I think she has top 5 striking.
Really?
When it comes to men or women, she's top 5. She does so many things correct. She's so fundamentally sound. Footwork is great. Clean lines. She fights well, nice and rangy. Good range management. I love the way she fights.
I think her only issue was a little bit of a mindset.
Yeah.
And now that she's figured that out, she might stay up.
We'll see. We'll see if she's figured it out.
Well, right. I guess one fight is a little premature to call it figured out, but she took it, and like her win was taken. You saw her freak out a little bit when she won the belt the first time.
Yeah.
This time she seemed a little bit more welcoming of taking it.
The first time, even when she lost, she said it felt like a huge weight lifted off my shoulders. Right. Those are things you don't want to hear.
Hell no. Hell no. That's like getting fired from your job and being like, oh, thank God. I've been looking forward to getting this off my shoulders. All right. What's the next fight here?
Carlos Diego Ferreira versus Gregor Gillespie.
Yeah, excellent pronunciation, by the way.
Great pronunciation.
Thank you.
I'm going to say Gillespie on this one.
Yeah, me too.
All right.
It's not because it's my teammate or anything. Just.
Is he your teammate?
Yeah.
I'm glad you took over reading this one then.
I know. Good thing you didn't say anything bad.
I was going to say, I like Gillespie. I thought you were going to go.
I was going to wait for you to pick and see what your thoughts were.
Damn it. I passed out with flying colors. See, and at least I was being fair without even knowing. See?
No, but
Gillespie.
Even besides
tell me a little bit inside about Gillespie.
Gillespie is an animal. I mean, obviously he lost to Kevin Lee that one time, and I think that he just got caught. It happens. This is the game at the highest level. But
that was the nasty kick, right?
Yes, the head kick put him out. But that was the last time he fought. That was a few years ago.
Yeah,
and he took time off. I think that, honestly, personally, and this may sound like blasphemy to you when I say this, right? Every time I say this on my show, people are like, "Oh!" They jump on me, right? Mm-hmm. But in my mind, Gregor Gillespie was the one who would have, if Khabib was around, he would have beat Khabib.
What's the next fight coming up? I'm just joking. Well, listen, I don't really know much about him. I do know that in that fight, coming into that fight with Lee, there was a lot of good talk about him, and I immediately got swayed. I'm like, I don't know much about him, but based on what they're showing me, based on what they're telling me, he's definitely going to be Kevin Lee. That was kind of like it happens, right? You get kicked in the head, you fall sometimes. But wow, so he's that good.
Yeah, he's very good. He's very good. His wrestling is next level, man. Next level wrestling. Scrambling is. I've never seen the dude even lose a scramble.
Really?
And
okay,
he's on the smaller side, but just look him up. All his wrestling credentials,
Yeah.
His record is insane. He's only lost to Jordan Burroughs.
Which is the top of the top of the mountain.
It's insane. Right. It's insane. So
wow, I did not know. See, but now I'm pumped. All right, I got the inside. All right, who do we have next? You can read them off if you want, since I can't see half of this shit.
We got Maurice Green versus Marcos Rogerio de Lima.
I don't know much about these guys.
Yeah, Maurice Green is.
I do know him.
Yeah, he fought. He fought. What is the guy's name?
He's not the most cut guy?
No.
He's a little soft?
But he's real tall.
He's real tall.
Yeah, he's real tall.
Yeah.
He's kind of soft, but he fought...
I remember these weird little facts about people. But he can bang, right?
He can bang. I don't know much about Marcos, though. That's the thing. But Marcos seems to have the experience edge.
He's 9-6, and then as far as his record, and then
17-8-1, yeah. Right. I'm going to go with Marcos Rogerio, even though I've seen Maurice Green. And I think he's decent.
All right, I'm going team soft bod. I'm going Green all the way by knockout.
By knockout.
Ooh. That's my call.
All
right. You got decision then?
I don't know. It's tough because I've never seen Marcos.
Yeah, just take a while, I guess.
Yeah,
because we'll take tabs on this.
I'm gonna run with Marcos then.
But for by knockout, or you're not gonna pick that?
Marcos by finish.
By finish. All right. Magny versus Neal. I think this is going to be probably one of the better fights of the night for sure.
Yes.
Man, I like Magny.
Me too.
I like Neal too. I'm going to go Magny.
Yeah, I'm going Magny as well.
Yeah?
I'm going Magny by decision.
Okay. I like that. I'll stick with that too. I'll go with decision. You don't train with him, do you?
No.
Because Magny comes down to Philly, I think, once in a while.
I've trained with him once, but I don't train with him on a regular.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Seems like a good dude, right? He's like a
nice guy.
vet and everything.
Super nice
Seems like
guy.
a good dude. Yeah.
Vet. He's been around a long time.
Yeah. No, but I think vet too, like an actual veteran. No?
Oh,
isn't he in
military
the?
vet.
I think he was military.
I think so. You're right. You might be right, actually.
Yeah. But you're right, vet in the sport as well. Let's just pretend that I knew what I was talking about.
No, I think he.
I think he is.
Army.
Oh, look at that. All right, sorry. And then Donald Cowboy Cerrone, which was almost going to be against you. So he's going to have an easier night against Morano. Is it Morano? Is
I
the
think so. Alex Morono. Alex Morono has a Muay Thai based style. Great jiu-jitsu too. Very similar to Donald Cerrone, I think. Just shorter.
I never go against Cerrone because he's a household favorite in my house. But I just feel bad because I feel like he just doesn't show up again and again and again and again. And he keeps on saying how he just couldn't show up again and again and again. And then they were talking about they were going to cut him after the last fight.
Oh, really?
I think Dana said that he was kind of done, like that he didn't want to see him continue to. I think Cerrone finally steps into what to what we all love to see, and he pulls this one off.
And just rides out into the sunset on that?
Nah, we'll keep on fighting. We'll keep trying to fight. But I'm saying he'll look good again, and he goes in these little strides of like 3 really good performances, and then suffers a couple losses.
Yeah, I guess that's the game though. It happens.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's at the highest level. It's hard, and there's a big difference in skill. Yeah, I noticed that there's a huge difference in once you start entering the top 15,
right?
Skill level jumps up significantly.
Really?
So we'll see.
So who do you got on this one?
I'm gonna go with Cerrone.
Yeah. Finish.
Decision.
Yeah.
All
right, I'm gonna go finish. I'm gonna go submission.
You're on submission.
Yeah.
Wow.
Whole Mike Perry the shit out of him too. Did he
On
break
bar?
his? You almost. Yeah, I think so. Something like that. Why not?
All right.
I don't know what I'm talking
Joint
about, but it
manipulation.
sounds like a good. It sounds like a good move. All right, and then Waterson versus Rodriguez for the main event. I'm also all team Waterson, man.
I love her.
Yeah,
I love her. But
she's another one who's super likable.
Yeah,
funny,
super
good
nice.
person. Seems like. But Rodriguez is on a bit of a tear too.
I don't know her.
Who did she fight last? She fought somebody big her last fight. Tell me about Michelle Waterson. What do you like about her as far as fighting?
I like her as a person more than anything. I like her heart. When I see her fight, no matter what, she never stops trying to win. And a lot of times in some fighters, you see they get to a point where the fight's not going their way, and you see them break. You know what I mean? And
Right.
they give in. And they're like, all right, well, I'm not gonna win this, and
Right.
they just kind of just survive to the end and be like, all right, I'll take the half check and I'm out.
Yeah.
Whereas with her, no matter how hard the fight is or what's happening, I really like the fact that she's consistently trying to win. You know what I mean? Consistently pushing forward, consistently trying. Her face will be bloodied and she'll be marred, and she's just not quitting. And I love that in anybody.
Yeah.
I
agree. I see the same thing, but I think her last one, Waterson fought Hill in her last fight or no?
Amanda Ribas.
Oh, Ribas. And she won. She won. But I think that was the performance where I was like, hell yeah. Waterson is like, she's grunting. She's like putting everything into everything she's throwing. And this girl's not going to be taken out at least
I thought
easily.
we were talking about
no.
Rodriguez.
So Rodriguez fought Ribas last.
Yes.
And won?
Yes.
Oh,
it was
shit.
the McGregor card.
Okay.
and she has a great style, man. She has a good style. Waterson has that a good karate based style. She throws a lot of output. Very high volume fighter. I like that.
She does. What's the kick that she does that's really good? It's like an axe kick.
A side kick.
Is it a side kick?
Yeah, I think she throws.
What do you call the one that you go up and?
Axe kick.
Axe kick, right?
Yeah.
Damn, got that one. She does that. I think she did it in her last fight. I was like, oh shit. Because she always does those Instagram videos where she's like kicking shit over people's heads.
Karate hottie.
Karate hottie. What am I thinking? How did I forget that? Actually, funny enough, I always forget her name because I always call her Karate Hottie. I'm like, if I ever meet her, I'm going to call her Karate Hottie, which would be weird. Anyway, yeah. I'm definitely going to go Watterson on this one. I think it'll be a good fight, though.
Yes.
I think worthy of main event. Because she's taken the... It was Cerrone who was supposed to be the main event?
What? No, it was T.J. Dillashaw versus
the eyebrow
Sanhagen.
Yeah. Damn, that would have been
good.
good.
I was looking forward to that. That
Hell
was
yeah.
a fire fight.
Yeah, that's the one that got pulled out. Yeah, hey, you know what? Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking because Cerrone, we would have known if it was a Cerrone main event, but no, you're right.
Who do you got in that fight when that fight goes?
Sanhagen, Dillashaw?
Yeah.
Sanhagen.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm a Dillashaw fan.
I like Dillashaw too, and
Yeah,
I mean, he's
just been out for so long.
He's been out for so
I feel
long.
like he should have took a fight in between before jumping up to the contenders like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
I don't know, man. Dillashaw's good. He's been out for a bit. It's weird to come back from something like what he's coming back from. As far as like, how are you going to perform?
yeah,
I'm sure he'll be fine.
If you're not on those things, how long were you on those things? If you're not anymore,
Right.
How does
Because
your
what
body
he was
respond?
on
How do you
helped his
perform?
cardio, helped his recovery,
Yeah.
supposedly. So, yeah, I don't know. And Sanhagen is like, the school teacher looking guy who just pulls off these like,
Lanky.
what he did to Frankie Edgar was disrespectful.
Yeah.
I mean, it was awesome, but I mean, holy shit.
You just hate to see Frankie like that.
Yeah, nobody wants to see Frankie. I don't think he wanted to see Frankie like that.
That's why.
What's that?
I said everybody loves Frankie.
Yeah, who doesn't like Frankie? So like to see him go out like that, you're like, you have to respect Sanhagen for just, pulling that out of the hat. Yeah, I think I would have had Sanhagen on that one. But it would have maybe his toughest challenge yet, right?
Yeah,
With Dillashaw.
I think so.
Yeah. All right, is that it for the fights? Mm-hmm. So you picked Watterson as well, or no?
Yeah, I'm going Watterson.
Okay.
Even though I don't know much about Rodriguez, I'll go Watterson.
I'll go Watterson decision.
I feel like Marina's gonna win.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
but because I like Michelle, I'm gonna go Watterson.
Damn, you just made me think the same thing. I'm like, I think Marina might win actually, but we're gonna go Watterson. All right, so we're going with Watterson based on just liking Watterson.
Pretty much.
That's what this podcast is.
All right, cool. So do we have any current events we wanted to bring up real quick?
We can talk about the Saunders.
Oh yeah. Are you pumped for this? Come on, you're a
Yes,
boxer.
I am hyped for this, but
Come on, don't let me down. Please say Saunders has a chance.
no.
Damn.
No.
I don't know what it is about Canelo. I like Canelo. I don't not like Canelo. He's entered into the Floyd Mayweather zone, and I hate nothing more than when a guy is just always going to win.
Yeah.
I like a challenge. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I love an underdog thing. I love a hard, a hard fight.
So you're the guy that's tuning in to watch him lose.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'm not gonna lie about that. Yeah. But I'm like once again, I like him, and every time he wins, I'm like, of course, he's great.
Yeah.
But I want to see some adversity.
True. I mean, the last time he's had adversity before he actually lost he was like 19 years old when he got rocked. Ever since then.
He's gotten better, and he really has gotten better and better. Yeah. His defense looks stupid these days. Like,
yeah, people can't even touch him for the most part.
I keep on seeing who was it? What did he fight? They keep on showing the video on Instagram where he's just like he's nothing touch him. It looks like a special effect.
That was against Danny Jacobs.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, and Jacobs is a beast. So then when you can't touch him,
Jacobs can't touch him. Who
the hell's gonna touch him?
It ain't Saunders. I'll tell you that.
Come on, man, help me out here. Well, the thing with Saunders is that he's kind of has that whole thing of like you can't touch me either.
Not as clean though.
Not as clean. But he's a little bit of a hype man too. Like he's a little bit of a Tyson Fury.
Showsmanship.
Shows right, yeah. Which I like because sometimes with these fighters who always have it going their way and everybody always like gets in there and then like the mesmerizing effect that kind of plays a part. I think. Hopefully Saunders doesn't let that happen. So I have two predictions. One, Saunders shocks the world. Mm-hmm. I don't think you agree with me on this one. And the other one is that his what he thinks he can do is going to just put him in danger, and Canelo's just going to be able to stop him. Mm. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is that how you see it going, or how? Like, what's your prediction for what the fight looks like?
I think he gets bullied.
He gets bullied?
Yeah, I think he gets bullied. I don't think he's going to be as evasive as he has been in the past.
Okay.
The other guys, looking out into the crowd.
Yeah.
I think Canelo's going to be a little too fast for him, and Canelo likes to fight people. Fight a guy. He's going to fight a guy like that on the inside, cut him off, and try to bully him a little bit.
Mm-hmm. A lot of body shots.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be boxing him on the outside as much. And even if that is the case, I think he does it better than Saunders.
Mm-hmm. Do you think there's a big difference in power?
Can't tell. That's kind of hard to judge.
Yeah.
Because power is a very deceiving thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I mean, guys look at me and don't think I hit hard because I'm skinny.
Right.
Until you feel it. Right? So seeing is believing. So
right.
It's hard for me to judge that.
Well, I feel like he's gotten better. His defense has gotten better, and I feel like he's cracking a little harder. It could be right. It could be just the way I see it. Mm-hmm. But I feel like the effect of his punches seem to have a bigger impact than maybe they used to. I could just be making all this up. But so that's where I ask,
I mean, he's gotten bigger. He put on weight and all that. So.
And he's been able to carry that power into the the heavier weight classes. And
for sure.
So what do you think of the whole issue with the ring size? Did you hear about this?
Yeah, I did hear about that.
Does it actually make
it matters?
No.
For him, for their fight styles. For Saunders, it might matter because Saunders wants to, he wants to touch and go. He has a touch and go style a little bit. I think it matters for him.
So I don't know the specific details. I know that the issue is that Saunders wanted a specific ring size. That's not what they were building. That's why he didn't show up to, I guess, the first face off.
So Saunders wants a bigger cage.
He wants a bigger one.
octagon. Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking.
Sense because of his style.
Right.
But like I said, he knows that in that smaller ring, what's going to happen?
Right.
Canelo's going to just march him down and kind of beat the body and try to bully him in there, and he's trying to avoid that.
Right.
He wants space.
So I thought it was funny so then I guess he complains and Canelo's like, all right, fine. Like if that's an issue, you've been complaining about other things, so go ahead. And then his response was like, perfect. Eddie Hearn, swap the ring out then. Like so confident, like, all right, so you didn't care about it. Now you're gonna regret it kind of thing. Mm. He's got good showmanship. I don't know. I'm excited for the fight. My gut tells me also that Saunders loses, but I'm gonna ride this optimistic train all the way into the night.
You could say, I called it. I told you.
I know. I think I'm gonna suck at my brother-in-law. Like he's always betting on the wrong guy by accident because I keep on telling him bad information. So I'm gonna be like, if you ever want to bet against Canelo, this is it. That's hilarious. I don't know. We'll see. But if he beats Saunders, I think it's like he just puts, I guess, even people like myself who always have a hope of some random person who might finally do it. And you know how boxing's bad with like.
There. I personally think the future of boxing though is Ennis, Jerron Ennis.
We're trying to get on the show. We're trying to get on the show. I know. He's good.
I think he got it, man.
Yeah.
I think he's got it.
He looks great every time he goes out there, man.
I think he's the one, man.
I love that. Fuck yeah. Let's do that. Let's bring Philly into the map. Do we have anything else? Is that it?
I don't know. You want to talk about anything you're watching this recently?
So I'm forcing this thing on the show as much as possible, and I just don't know what it is yet. But I'm trying to break away from fight talk for a second. Mm-hmm. What do you do? So you're a game. You consider yourself a gamer, or you just like to play?
I just like to play.
Okay.
People automatic once I talk about Twitch and I say I'm a Twitch, everyone's like, "Oh, you're a gamer."
Yeah.
I like to play video games. I would say I'm a gamer.
Right.
I game.
I game often. Do you watch a lot of like what's your downtime stuff? Is it just game stuff, or is it like are you a Netflix guy or?
I play basketball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, I play my video games. I just like to be alone.
Yeah.
What'd you say? I like to be alone, right?
Just peace and quiet.
Yeah, I like quiet. I'm watching Snowfall right now. Snowfall is fire.
What's Snowfall?
On Hulu.
Oh, Snowfall, the drug.
Yeah.
I think we got into season 2 of it. I think a new one just dropped, right?
Yeah, I'm at season 2 now. I didn't.
It's a good show.
Yeah, when it first came out, I kind of just left it.
Me too.
And then now, when I went to my fight, I had nothing to do.
So you
and
binged
I
that a little
binged
bit.
it the whole time. I'm up to like the middle of season.
That kid's a good actor. I like him a lot.
He is. I follow him on Instagram too. I like that dude.
He was just in something big in a movie. He was in a Netflix movie. What's his name?
Was it
the one where the guy's like a half robot or some shit?
Yeah, I know.
That was him, right? Because I think he played an army guy or something.
The guy who who
The
does
Marvel guy.
Captain America. Yeah, he was in it too.
Right. So he's like, you're right. It's them two, and he's a solid. That kid's a solid actor, man.
Yeah.
That's
And he's British. You wouldn't know he's British.
The kid's British.
You wouldn't know.
God damn it.
Right? Like,
That's like when I found out. Did you ever watch House back in the day?
House.
The doctor show.
No.
All right, you're sleeping on the House. House is good. I used to love House, and then I had no idea he was fucking British either. Like,
Yeah.
well, and it was not a
British
letdown,
accent.
but it's just a shocker to.
Like, how do they do it?
I don't know.
Just imagine just going to England and just having a straight up British accent,
And people believe in you.
and people believe it, and you
Right.
can play different parts of different
Right.
kind of people in England.
Yeah, yeah.
That's some crazy.
That's
That's
talent.
a talent. Yeah,
Hell yeah.
that's a legit talent.
Because you hear bad ones sometimes when people
Yeah,
try, and you're
it's
like,
like-
well, you don't have that talent. Wow, that kid from Snowfall's British. That's some shit. That's a solid show. What did we just start watching? It hasn't been much. I gotta maybe go back to that. What's that?
Lil Dicky.
Oh, I love that show.
I was watching Lil
Dave?
Dicky funny. Yeah, Dave.
Dave is fucking hilarious. I can't wait for the new season to come out.
Yeah, that was funny.
Dude, Dave is fucking great. I thought it. I don't know who I told about it, and they were like, nah, that's just like a bullshit version of Atlanta. Which Atlanta's another great show. Do you like Atlanta?
Yeah, we started watching Atlanta.
Atlanta's good.
Yeah, it is.
I think like the last 2 episodes left. I got sidetracked and never went back to it, but that's like, it's always in the back of my head. Like, I got to go back and finish. Dave was fucking like binge worthy to me. I thought it was so funny.
Dave was out of control, man. Dave was out of pocket the whole,
time.
Dave was out of pocket, right?
And everybody in that show is good. What's his name? The comedian? His Santino.
No.
He's
Everybody
funny.
did well, yeah.
Everybody's funny as shit in that. Oh my god! And Gata.
Who's got it?
Gata's his main guy, his hype man.
Oh, his hype man. Yeah. Gutter.
Dude.
Oh, Gator, right?
Gator. Gata. He's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
And then he gets all emotional, like when he has to be finally the big hype man. He starts getting depressed and shit.
The final scene, man, that was just
What was the final scene on that?
the final episode of when he was like he had to like it started off with him rapping about how he went to jail, then he got raped.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
yes, and it's like a whole
It's a
movie
whole
about
story.
it. Like you think,
it's just the whole thing is him just rapping the whole time.
yeah.
Rapping the story. I'm like, damn. He can actually rap though. That's crazy.
He is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is that he's like a humorist. Like it's a weird.
Yeah, it's
It's
like
a niche, dude.
Is it a troll or is it like a? How do you say? You remember like those movies, those back in the day, like scary movie.
Yeah, of course.
But like
Yeah, spoof.
like the funny version of it.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like that, but like
Right, but you can recognize the guy's got talent.
yeah, definitely.
Like his rhyming abilities. I don't
Definitely.
know how much of this stuff is like freestyling, but it has that vibe to it.
Yeah, he got a good flow.
Yeah.
He got interesting.
And there was an episode where he went on the Charlemagne. He like started like he was supposed to rap the inappropriate song, right?
Yeah,
I
but
think
he couldn't do
but
it.
he couldn't. But then he rapped something else that was fucking great.
Trash. No, it was
No,
trash.
it was good.
Was it good?
No, it was really good.
Because I remember Charlemagne like shitted on him or something.
I think Charlemagne shit on him to like the whole time,
Yeah.
and then he impressed him with a good rap.
Ah, okay.
I believe so. I don't
I gotta
know.
go back and watch.
Yeah, it's a good
Wow.
fucking show. I recommend it. Awesome. See, this segment works, Gabby. Well, that's it. So tell me about Twitch real quick. So Twitch is it's got like your favorite platform at this point. Like
Yes, Twitch is my favorite platform. That's where I stream. So Monday to Thursday,
okay,
I stream just me bullshitting on the stream. Me, Soph's on the back. You know, she's the producer.
yeah, really.
Yeah, she's in the cut on she got a mic, and I'm just gaming and just chatting with everybody. But Friday and Sunday, that's the meat and potatoes. That's what we have a podcast, a show, live show. So people come on Twitch, interact with us.
Okay.
We talk to them, and we're talking to chat, and we're just talking about the upcoming UFC event.
Uh-huh.
And then on Sunday, post fight, we talk about how the event went, and news in the MMA world.
So basically, it's a podcast on Twitch.
It's a podcast on Twitch.
You like doing it?
I love it.
It's fun, right?
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. It's I met I built a little community, so it's cool. We got they all jump into Discord and we all
That's awesome.
Kind of just kick it, and it's cool to have fans see me more than just a fighter. It kind of humanizes me. I feel because sometimes they don't humanize us at all. They just see us as
Pieces of meat just fighting each other.
just beating the shit out of each other. You know what I mean? So,
I think some people do and some people don't.
Yeah.
I think some people can separate it.
So-
But no, they see a different side of you.
yeah, they do, and it's cool. I love it. I have a good time. I really enjoy it. So for the most part, the real ones come out for the gaming and just the chit chat, but mostly it's the show on Friday and Sunday.
I gotta check that.
It's called The Pro and the Bro.
The Pro and the Bro. Yeah. Who's the bro?
The bro is my brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Yeah. So me and him are just chilling. He like
awesome.
drinks beer and stuff. He like makes his own beer and interesting guy. And then there's me.
All right. At some point, invite me. I would like to drink some of that beer and be a second bro. That's awesome, man. I'll check it out. So we're gonna try to release something on there just to get people to check out the episode and then definitely link it all somehow together. That's it. Thanks for coming, man. Appreciate it.
No doubt. Thanks for having me, bro.
Brother, pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much.
Anytime.